So, like, San Francisco...
Oh, I don't watch the VODs.
What would you say would be one of your most memorable video games that you have ever played?
I would say it would have to be when we were all at that young age and we discover one of the best video games of all time that we all played as children. I'm of course talking about Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yeah.
Which is a shame what happened with the Rockstar remaking to ruin a childhood classic like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Hey, but sometimes your hopes and dreams and childhood memories have to be like completely dashed and smashed in order for you to turn into the phoenix that you actually are. But of course, with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, even destroying that masterpiece, touching that masterpiece is like a sin against humanity. So like the fact that they did that, like that's gonna stunt anybody's like phoenix growth, my guy. But yeah, like, so what really stuck out to you about that game as a kid?
I don't even know because I played Vice City. Didn't feel the same way. Grand Theft Auto 3, it was just, they felt like big sandbox games with nothing to do but steal cars and shoot people, which is fine. I mean, if you're doing the arcade mode, trying to get the biggest score, and yeah. But I like San Andreas' story. It's one of the first games where a story or whatever captures your attention.
Okay.
Something like that. Did you ever play it?
Not as a kid, but I did eventually play it when it like got re-released for the 360, and then like on the phone I played it a little bit. It was pretty cool. I watched my little brother play it a lot, and Acadence. I watched Acadence play it a lot too. By the way, shout out to Acadence. You know what? We should have probably just led with an Acadence song.
Yeah, but you should ask him first.
We
Maybe next time.
should ask him first. Royalty-free music will work for now. That is all an experiment, just like that time at camp.
And microdosing.
And microdosing. Yes. So what about video games really has you stoked for future generations of kids growing up? Because we know the kids getting born today are going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 5 10 years from now, right?
When it's re-released with Skyrim.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be mandatory that everybody plays Skyrim, right? If Todd Howard's already watching us and saying if we don't play Skyrim at some point in our lives, we will not go to heaven, if there is even a heaven.
What if you die and go to heaven, and the only way to get in is you gotta answer what happens at the end of some randomized quest in Skyrim? They're okay, what happens at the end of the Dark Brotherhood Guild? So you have to know all of Skyrim to get into heaven.
I mean, some people are already there. Some people have already unlocked that. You remember that grandmother that was playing Skyrim for a while? The YouTube old lady, 80-year-old that was playing Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if she's dead or not, but
Whoa.
Well, I mean, but she was, the whole reason why she was doing that is to learn up on Skyrim, because like if you don't do that before you die, right, you're not gonna get into the pearly gates. They're not even pearly gates, they are elven glass gates.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, how far did you get into Skyrim? Did you ever beat the story?
I did.
You did.
I don't know if it's worth talking about because, I mean, it's spoilers, but the game's almost 12 years old now. It just turned 11 years old in November. But screw it. Yeah, you go to Sovngarde or whatever, and you meet who's the banned one. That's basically Thor, but he's outlawed by
Barathor. It's a throwback, by the way, to the first episode where we talked about
Barathor.
The Third Age.
So Barathor's banned, and he's there, and he's like, "Hey, thanks for doing what you do. Help us kill Anduin," and then you do, and then you do.
Wait, so Anduin's the big old dragon. I don't think we're allowed to call him drag.
You can call it that. I wouldn't call them that myself, but all right. Yeah, the big scary one that shows up, you kill him, and then you go back, and that's it. And there's no big demon dragon fight like at the end of 4. So
4 had a lot of Oblivion gates that like were unnecessarily there.
Oh, I was trying to do them all. I know they just respawned.
I mean, free experience points.
But I was at one point trying to do them all, and that's why it sucks. They never re-released it for PS4 or 5. I really want to play Oblivion again, but
what if that's what they're working on? Like
that's what 6 is.
Yeah, what if 6 is just Elder Scroll 4 Part 2
re-release?
Only Oblivion gates. How would you personally feel about like a future where, you know, video games are just a part of our, you know, normal human lives? It's no longer like gamer culture or anything like that. It's just integrated into our lives because, you know, everybody's going to be on the internet. Everybody's going to have like chips in their brains. You know, how do you, San Francisco Frank, feel about the future of gaming?
I mean, it's always had its ups and downs. Everything seems to be getting more expensive now. It's still hard to get a PS5 or an Xbox Squared or whatever it's called now.
Yeah, I think it's Xbox 910. That is a 360 joke, ladies and gentlemen.
Because that guy got fired before they could make the next one. Because otherwise it would have been something else, not the one. I'm still confused by their naming conventions.
They have original Xbox, which it's just called Xbox, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the first Star Trek isn't called the original series, it's just called Star Trek. But you have original Xbox, you have Xbox 360, then we have Xbox One, and then we have Xbox Series X. Not to be confused with the Xbox One X, which is still an Xbox One.
But it's an X.
Yeah, and don't be confused because there's an Xbox Series S, not to be confused with the Xbox One S.
See, PlayStation just had 1 through 5, and it's worked out great for them.
You've had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 1 Slim, PlayStation...
Was there a 1 Slim?
There was a 1 Slim, thank you very much. There was a 2, PlayStation 2 Slim, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 3 Slim.
Oh, you talking about how the first one could play PS2 games?
Yeah, and then you have the PS4, and then
hey, you forgot the PS3 Slim.
You're right, the PS3 Slim, and then you have the PS4. You have the PS4 Slim. Then you have the PS4 Pro. Then you have the PS5.
And that's where we are.
And then you have the PS5 discless version. So there are a lot of PlayStations. But they all do the same thing. Play games. Just like the Xbox. But you know it doesn't play games? The GameCube. The GameCube was initially made to launch missiles to Russia.
I thought that was the PS2. Or was that Afghanistan?
It was Afghanistan. Afghanistan as a country was created by the governments of the world to just wage war all the time. Because you know what? We left Afghanistan. Russia left Afghanistan. You know who's gonna fight in Afghanistan? That's right. Ghana. The African country.
I thought you were going to say Godzilla.
Godzilla don't want no beef with the Afghan people because he's just going to lose. Look.
It is a long ways from water.
Afghanistan has never been conquered because they don't have Godzilla. So if Godzilla went into Afghanistan, he'd realize that he just needs to live there. And we don't want that. That's why we keep Godzilla in Japan.
To keep destroying their buildings.
Well, it's okay because the Japanese people adore Godzilla. If they hadn't, they wouldn't have made several documentaries about him. Awkward pause as we stare